The moment I saw those diamonds glinting against Margaret's wrinkled neck, something inside me snapped. Not broke, snapped. Like a rubber band pulled too tight for too long, finally giving way with a sharp, satisfying pop. My name is Sophia, and I'm 32 years old. 6 months ago, I lost my mother to cancer. She was everything to me, my best friend, my confidant, my anchor in this chaotic world. When she passed, she left me her jewelry collection. Not because it was worth a fortune, though it was, but because each piece held a memory. The diamond necklace Margaret was flaunting? Mom wore it to my wedding. The matching earrings? Her 25th anniversary gift from Dad before he passed. I'd kept the collection in a safe in my home office, visiting it sometimes when the grief felt too heavy. Those pieces were all I had left of her. My husband Marcus and I had been married for 5 years. He ran a small construction company. Well, ran is generous. He played boss while I handled the books, managed clients, and kept everything afloat. But his name was on the signs, so he got the credit. Margaret had always been a problem. From day one, she'd made it clear I wasn't good enough for her precious son. Too educated, too independent, too unwilling to quit my job as a financial advisor to become a full-time housewife. The fact that my salary paid most of our bills? Irrelevant to her. Sophia works too much, she'd complain to anyone who'd listen. A good wife should be home, taking care of her husband. The Sunday dinner where everything exploded had started normally enough. Margaret had insisted on hosting, as always. Marcus and I arrived at 6 p.m. sharp. He hated when we were late to his mother's summons. I was helping set the table when she walked in from the kitchen, and I froze. Around her neck hung my mother's necklace, the 5-carat center stone catching the light. The matching earrings dangled from her ears. On her wrist, my grandmother's Art Deco bracelet. "Margaret," I said, my voice deadly calm. "Where did you get those?" She touched the necklace with a satisfied smile. "Oh, these old things? I found them lying around. Your mother's diamonds look better on me anyway, don't you think?" She had such gaudy taste. My hands shook as I gripped the back of a chair. "Those were in my safe. In my locked office." "Was it locked?" She laughed, a tinkling sound that made my skin crawl. "Marcus gave me a key. Said you had some old jewelry you never wore. Waste not, want not, I always say." I turned to my husband, who was suddenly very interested in his phone. "Marcus?" He shrugged without looking up. "Mom needed something nice for her church fundraiser. You never wear that stuff anyway." "That stuff was my mother's." My voice cracked. "She died 6 months ago." "Exactly," Margaret interjected. 6 months of it collecting dust. The dead don't need jewelry, dear. But the living do. I've already sold some pieces, the little rings and brooches. Got quite a good price, too. I'm keeping these, though. They suit me. The room spun. "You sold them?" "Of course. Marcus's business needs new equipment. Family helps family." She adjusted the necklace, preening. "Though I must say, your mother's taste was rather excessive. Who needs so many diamonds? It's almost tacky." That's when I smiled. A real, genuine smile that made Marcus finally look up from his phone. "What's funny?" he asked, suspicious. "Oh, nothing," I said, pulling out my phone. "Just remembering something. Margaret, you said you sold some pieces already." "Yes, yesterday. To that nice jeweler on 5th Street. He gave me $30,000 cash." She patted her purse proudly. "Already deposited it into Marcus's business account this morning." "How wonderful," I said, typing quickly on my phone. "And you're wearing the rest now?" "The best pieces, yes. Though that gaudy emerald set is still at my house. Too green for my complexion." "Mom," Marcus said slowly, watching my face. "Maybe you should." "Officer Davidson?" I said into my phone, cutting him off. "Yes, this is Sophia Turner. I'm at 458 Oak Street with the suspect." "Yes, she's wearing the items right now." "Correct, the diamond necklace, earrings, and Art Deco bracelet. She's also admitted to selling other pieces." "Thank you, we'll wait here." Margaret's face went white. "What are you doing?" "Oh, didn't Marcus tell you?" I asked sweetly. "I filed a police report yesterday when I discovered the theft. Grand larceny, given the value. And since you've now confessed to selling stolen goods across state lines, you did mention that jeweler on 5th Street, right? That's in New Jersey. Well, that makes it federal." "This is ridiculous." Marcus jumped up. "She's my mother. I gave her permission. To steal from my personal safe? To take inherited items that belong solely to me." I shook my head. "Our prenup is very clear about personal property, remember? You insisted on it, actually." Worried I might take half your business. Margaret sank into a chair. You wouldn't dare have me arrested. Wouldn't I? I pulled out a folder from my purse. I'd been carrying it since yesterday, waiting for this moment. Here are the insurance appraisals for every piece. Total value, $847,000. Here are the receipts from when my parents purchased them. Here's my mother's will, clearly stating they go to me. And here, I pulled out another document, is the security footage from our home office, showing you entering with Marcus's key and taking everything. You set us up. Marcus sputtered. No, you robbed me. I just documented it. I turned to Margaret. The emerald set you mentioned? The one still at your house? Worth $127,000. That pushes this well into federal territory. The doorbell rang. Through the window, I could see 2 police officers and what looked like a detective. Wait! Margaret stood up, fumbling with the necklace clasp. Take them back. I didn't know they meant so much. You knew they were my dead mother's, I said quietly. You called them gaudy. You said she had tacky taste. You sold pieces of her soul for cash. The officers entered, and I handed them my folder of evidence. As they read Margaret her rights, she kept trying to remove the jewelry with shaking hands. The clasp on the necklace, the same one my father had struggled with every time he'd helped my mother put it on, wouldn't budge. Sophia, please. Marcus grabbed my arm. She made a mistake. We'll give everything back. Can you give me back the pieces she already sold? I asked. Can you undo the fact that she took the ring my father proposed with and handed it to some stranger for cash? He paled. I'll buy them back. Every piece. I swear. With what money? I laughed bitterly. The construction company that's hemorrhaging money? The one that only stays afloat because I cook the books every month to hide your losses. What are you talking about? Oh, Marcus. I pulled out my phone again. Remember last year when you were too busy to renew your business license? Too busy playing golf to file the paperwork? I did it for you. Only, I may have made a tiny error. Instead of filing it under Marcus Turner Construction, I filed it under Sophia Turner Enterprises. Honest mistake. His face went from pale to green. That's fraud. Is it? I have emails of you telling me to handle it, however. Your signature on documents making me co-owner. Years of messages begging me to fix your business problems. I smiled. My lawyer says it's ironclad. Especially since I've been the one paying the business taxes, managing the accounts, securing the contracts. Margaret was being let out in handcuffs, still wearing my mother's jewelry. She'd have to have it cut off at the station. Those clasps were tricky, and Mom always said they were theft-proof. Ironic. You planned this, Marcus said, sinking into a chair. How long have you been planning this? Since the day of Mom's funeral, I admitted. When your mother didn't come because she had a nail appointment. When you spent the reception on your phone with clients. When I realized I'd married into a family that saw me as nothing but a wallet and a worker. So what now? He looked broken. You destroy us? No, Marcus. You destroyed yourselves. I'm just claiming what's mine. I gathered my purse, preparing to leave. Your mother will likely get probation, maybe house arrest. But the civil suit? That's different. And your business, my business, well, I think it's time for new management. You can't do this. I can and I will. The divorce papers will be served tomorrow. I'm keeping the house. It's in my name anyway. The business too. You'll need to find somewhere else to live by Friday. Where will I go? Your mother has a spare room. Oh wait, she'll be busy with legal fees. I paused at the door. Maybe you can sell some of her jewelry to pay for a lawyer. I hear the nice jeweler on 5th Street gives good prices. I walked out to the sound of sirens and Marcus's pleas. In my car, I pulled out my phone and opened a photo. Mom and me at my wedding, her wearing that diamond necklace and smiling. I got them, Mom, I whispered. Every last piece. The truth was, I'd known about the theft within hours. Our safe had a silent alarm that alerted my phone. I'd watched the security footage in real time from my office, watched Margaret paw through my mother's treasures with greedy hands, while Marcus stood guard. I could have stopped them then, but I needed more. I needed them to confess, to show their true colors. So I'd waited, filed the police report quietly, had my lawyer draw up the business transfer papers, gathered every piece of evidence, and then accepted Margaret's dinner invitation, knowing she wouldn't be able to resist flaunting her theft. The next morning, I met with the jeweler on 5th Street. He remembered Margaret. Hard to forget someone who cackled while selling a deceased woman's wedding ring. He still had most of the pieces and agreed to sell them back to me at cost. The ring my father had proposed with. The brooch my grandmother wore to her own wedding. Small pieces of my family's history that Margaret had traded for cash like they were nothing. Marcus tried to fight the business transfer, but my lawyer had been right. Everything was legal. Years of his negligence and my diligence had created a clear paper trail. The construction company was mine, and my first act was to fire him. He threatened to sue, to claim I'd manipulated him. But his lawyer took one look at my documentation and advised him to walk away quietly. Margaret's criminal trial was swift. The evidence was overwhelming: security footage, her confession at dinner, which I'd recorded on my phone, the jeweler's testimony. She received 2 years probation and was ordered to pay restitution for the pieces that couldn't be recovered. The civil suit took longer, but the judgment was worth it. She was forced to sell her house to pay me back. The last time I saw them was at the courthouse. Margaret had aged a decade in 6 months, her designer clothes replaced with ill-fitting bargains. Marcus stood beside her, unemployed and bitter. They'd moved into a small apartment on the outskirts of town, far from their country club friends and charity galas. Was it worth it? Marcus asked me as we waited for the elevator. Destroying your own family? You were never my family, I replied. Family doesn't steal from you. Family doesn't mock your dead mother. Family doesn't treat you like an ATM and a servant. We could have worked it out, he said desperately. If you'd just talked to us. I tried talking. For 5 years I tried. You never listened. The elevator arrived, and I stepped in. Besides, your mother was right about one thing. Her theft did help the family business. My family business is thriving now that I'm not carrying dead weight. The doors closed on his stricken face. That was a year ago. The construction company has since doubled its profits under my management. Turns out, clients appreciate dealing with someone who actually knows the business. I've hired good people, people who value hard work over nepotism. I keep Mom's jewelry in a new safe now, one only I know about. Sometimes I wear the diamond necklace to important meetings, feeling her strength around my neck. The emerald set Margaret thought was too green? I wore it to the charity gala where her former friends whispered about her fall from grace. But mostly I keep them safe. Not because they're valuable, but because they're her. Each piece carries a memory, a moment when my mother was alive and happy and loved. Margaret tried to reduce them to their cash value, but she never understood. Some things are priceless. The irony is, if she'd asked to borrow them, I might have said yes. If she'd shown an ounce of respect for my mother's memory, if she'd treated me like a person instead of a resource to exploit, things could have been different. But she showed me who she really was that Sunday dinner, dripping in stolen diamonds and cruelty. And I showed her who I was too. Someone who protects what's theirs. Someone who documents everything. Someone who knows that revenge is a dish best served with receipts. My mother always said that jewelry tells a story. The diamond necklace that caused Margaret's downfall? It has a new story now. Not just of my parents' love, but of justice served and dignity reclaimed. When I wear it, I remember both women. One who gave it with love, and one who took it with greed. Only one of them got to keep it. And it wasn't the thief who thought diamonds looked better on her. It was the daughter who knew some things shine brightest when they're worn with honor. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.